Ladies and gentlemen.
Good Son of a Bitch podcast.
Hear me good?
Yep, you got
All
me.
right. Yep, real good.
Sweet.
Yep. Guys have been asking about us. We've got our permanent table set up in here now. Kyle and I have worked on it. Keith and I have worked on it, but it's in here now. We'll finish the artwork on it with time. And I wanted to get on here and we have a roundup we're going to do once a month and or once every other month. And this one we're going to kind of talk about June and July. And here we are into August, and just kind of tell you what all we've been up to. I must say I do like this table a lot better.
It's nice, yeah.
It's really sweet, man. It
Way better than the old plastic.
yeah, you got that right, man. But yeah, it's going to be a nice piece once we get it done here. And so just fill in our audience. We had scheduled a young man for a couple weeks. I haven't heard back from him. He wasn't able to make it on the first week that we intended to have him, and then I didn't hear back from him second week, so we moved on. And the gentleman we had scheduled after him had been battling some cancer issues and had some complications with that, and so he's back getting looked at the hospital and what have you. I think he's out now, and I think he's doing much better. But he said just postpone him until he's clear bill of health, which is fine.
Right.
We've got several others. That's what I want our audience to kind of understand is we try to schedule for Thursday nights. And if a said guest needs it to be a different night, that's fine. We can all get together, and whether it's me running it solo or me and Keith or me and Kyle, or you'll meet Lance. Lance will be once his son's traveling sports are done, which I know you just wrapped up with that to an extent. It never stops. But Lance will be joining us. You'll really like Lance. He's good people. He works at our Castleton location. I worked with him a while and got to know him, but it's tough out there. You know, we try to schedule best we can, and sometimes that don't work. And then on top of that, I've got a scrap business, so I've been scrapping metal here for the last 5-6 weeks. Take a load in every Saturday, and so I've been extremely busy with that. Sometimes you got to clean the aluminum to get the most out of it, and been dealing with Nuco down on 13, so that's been an experience.
Taking all your money?
Yeah, I tell you, but they've been all right to us. It's convenient.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You run into that, you can get a couple extra bucks if you go down to Indianapolis to the foundry and deal directly with them, but it's not worth it with just a truck bed full. But I'm working on getting a trailer and growing the business organically so we can start taking several hundred to thousands of pounds in at a time, and also offering a service to people that need stuff moved or dumped or what have you. I've been getting a lot of requests for that. But,
I bet.
Man, how you been?
I'm good.
Yeah.
It's been busy, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
how'd the sports and all that wrap up?
actually, Easton's team won their final tournament they played in, so they got a championship ring. That was nice.
Man, that is cool.
That ended, and now I'm coaching middle school football.
Oh, okay.
So,
Great, man.
Yeah, middle school football just started. We are about 2 weeks into practices. We got our first game next week, so
Heck
should be fun.
Heck yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
On top of that, what's work been like?
Kind of crazy, man. They're boring fiber in town.
Yep.
For some new internet that's coming in or whatever. Hopefully it's better than what we got,
It's supposed to be, it's a company in Noblesville. They ended up buying Swayze Communications out, and they're actually an up-and-coming, it's ORI is the name of the company. I've heard nothing but great things, and I've had nothing but great results from even when they took over here a few months back. It's been pretty flawless.
So.
Yeah,
I hope so. The internet's trash.
It is. They came by and started running cables to each individual's home from the pole from which that they're going to pull from. The guy was real nice and real knowledgeable, and the fiber optics going to be pretty sweet.
Awesome.
It's going to be pretty sweet.
We need it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're out in the middle of the
Boy,
desert.
I know it's crazy because Swayze, when they owned it there in Swayze, Indiana, that's a little ways away,
Yeah.
and something was always going out. Not
Yeah.
not very good. But man, I wanted to come on here and just get our folks caught up. They've been wanting us to get together and do a wrap up. We had some really good guests last month, and I want to tell our guests again. We'll remind them we have our hotline. It's open 24/7, 365. We'll talk about the phone call we got from the post office. You hung a flyer with links to our show, and unbeknownst to me, as that one old boy would say on Saturday Night Live, we can't place those flyers in federal buildings. So
Apparently it's not welcome there.
I tell you what, man, that was insane. But they took them down right away. Never did get our business cards that I paid all that money for. So
ripped off.
yeah, and I've sent emails inquiring, hey, where's our order? So we're back to the drawing board there. We'll get business cards processed here by the end of August. And
There's too many scammers out there.
I tell you, I would do it myself, but man, it's a lot of time and money and ink, and by the time you do all that, you're at what it would cost for a company to do it for you. I think we'll start. Originally, we were going to start with 500. I think I'll get 1,000. That way, the three of us have several to hand out, and I think that's going to really grow the audience. But I tell you what, Rumble.
Yeah.
Unbelievable response on Rumble. Of all the places that we post our content, Rumble, I was highly surprised. I thought it would be Spotify or YouTube.
Yeah.
Spotify, believe it or not, went from one of the best to our third best out of the three. We get a lot of interactions. Unfortunately, some of those interactions on Facebook are unwelcome with Indian scammers from India. And other scammers, so that kind of has sucked. Crazy. But they always want to help us get this content posted, and
they want to boost it.
Yeah, they want to boost it. It's all
give them $1 million, and we'll boost it.
Shoot, but yeah, you're right. But so we're battling that, and we'll hand out some more flyers and just get more eyeballs on the product. And a lot of people said, man, we were glad that you left the other content open without posting new content so we could get caught up on the episodes you've got posted. So I know that that's one thing that I was getting messaged, especially on Rumble. I think we were averaging 150 or 200 per episode on Rumble, and a lot of them had said, let us get caught up now that we've found you and we've subscribed to your content. Let us get caught up. So there's that. And Keith should be joining us once things get back to normal with him. If you went back and watched Keith's episode, you recently find out that he went through divorce back in end of April, in May. So he just got settled in. I was just telling you, into a home and a new pal. And, so things are starting to get a little more normalized for him, but we should see him. And like I said, Lance will be joining us once his kids' traveling ball's over with. And
takes a while to bounce back from that.
Yeah, he's going to be, Lance is going to bring a flavor of some things we'll talk about, and that's just wrestling in general, old WWF, WCW, TNA.
All right.
He is a connoisseur on the wrestling, and man, loves to talk
I dig it.
Speaking of the wrestling, other night I got on YouTube and they post the Dark Side of the Ring episodes. And they posted Big Boss Man. That was a really good episode. So I'd highly advise anyone to check out that. And the 3-part series of Jeff Jarrett was really, really good.
Yeah, I feel like they on like the Vice Network. They do the Dark Side of the Ring, like a marathon. Like I feel like almost every day.
Man, some of the things you find out about Big Boss Boss Man. They killed his character when they brought him back from WCW. Vince McMahon had Big Boss Man as his personal bodyguard. I don't know if you can remember that. He was wearing the tactical gear. That was a straight character assassination, and that sucked because everyone liked Big Boss Man with the jail uniform. I remember them days and the nightstick. Good stuff. But yeah, Lance.
You watch SummerSlam?
I did not. No. I was able to catch little clip of Brock Lesnar, which
apparently he officially retired now.
He did officially retire now, from what I heard him tell Pat McAfee on the Pat McAfee show. But Brock Lesnar, boy, you got any fond memories of Brock Lesnar? For me, it was. He's a trailblazer, and what I mean by that is in 2002, when he come on the scene, we never seen anyone quite like that. I mean, just the physique and the energy and the flexibility, and he was crazy, flipping off of the steel cages 30 feet up, and just crazy. And I remember reading his first autobiography, and he had mentioned that there were 2 or 3 months straight where he has no recollection because of all the pain pills and the drinking, and to masquerade that, because he said once you get hurt, you got to keep on keeping on, and he was no stranger to that. He was beat up pretty bad, and but anyways, man, I tell you what, I'd like to say thank you to Brock Lesnar. I know the odds of him seeing this is slim to none.
Right.
Hey, that's all right.
Shout out, come be on the show.
Come be on the show. We're just some country boys as well, in Podunk, Indiana. But I tell you, Keith was a big fan of Brock Lesnar, and not only in the WWF, WWE, but the UFC stuff that he did. I'd like to go back and see too. They had posted, I think it was Pat McAfee posted the list of all the things that he did, not only in WWF, but all the championships and all the Intercontinental Championship. He won that, and man, I tell you, that's
Have
congrats.
you seen his kids?
Yeah,
His
I
kids
have.
are beasts too.
Yeah, I have. I seen
right off the block.
Yeah,
dude.
I tell you, his daughter could throw that shot. I mean, just see,
like it's nothing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. And I don't know. I mean, the guy that he wrestled, I don't know much about him, Obi, or however they say it. But I don't think there's anyone that can fill that role of just absolute beast. I mean, that guy's a big guy.
They brought him in, and he's supposed to be like Brock's replacement, basically. But, I mean, when there's nobody in WWE like they're big like that,
I know it.
Of course, you're going to be able to throw people around the ring. You know what I mean? Like,
man. We see it in professional racing. We see it in all the professional sports, but WWE's no stranger. It's not like it was when we were younger. The big steroid, the physique of just big men. It's gone. It's gone.
And something that I feel like they're trying to do is they're trying to replace like some of the great wrestlers, like The Rock, Stone Cold. They're trying to bring in these new characters that have the same, thing as what Stone Cold did, you know what I mean? Like, and it's weird.
That Attitude Era is just it's unmatched. Exactly. Even the WCW stuff back then was hot, and I mean it just had a essence about it.
I remember watching it every time, and there was never a moment when I was just like, what the heck is going on? Like, it was. You can never predict it. You know what I mean? Like this stuff nowadays, you're like, oh, so and so is going to come in and interfere, and it's just not what it was.
I think The Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker, Kane, all of those I could rattle them off for a long time, but I think the writers are no longer involved like they used to be. You know, you had people like Paul Heyman, who's now more of a microphone guy out front on camera, writing, storylines and stuff in the back. And, I wish I knew who it was now, but at one time you had Shawn Michaels involved in that, and you had Perry Saturn was involved in that. I'm trying to think of some of Prince Albert. He was working backstage writing. You had Zeb Coulter backstage. Now I'm not sure who they got. I don't know. I don't know if Triple H is trying to do too much.
It's just like him running it or something. I don't know.
The product has fallen way off. It just has.
I mean, to the extent that I'd almost watch like AEW over WWE just because it seems like it's unscripted. Like if they're having a hardcore match, it seems like it's a hardcore match. You know what I mean? Like I've seen like clips and matches of like when Dean Ambrose is over there, and those matches are hardcore, like what they used to be back in the day.
Yeah, it's just like we're missing just a product that really kept kids. Well, kids are dumbed down now and more feminized. It's when you and I were kids in elementary school, that wrestling it had the tits, it had the it had the language, and the parents, they didn't think nothing.
They're like, it's just wrestling. You can watch it.
Now, you can't say that around these kids.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, to speak on that, like I'm a line coach for middle school football.
Yeah.
And there's like 3 or 4 kids they're soft.
Yeah.
And I just want to grab them and be like, you got to get mean, dude. Like you're playing a contact sport.
Sport.
And we had a kid like that last year that about 2 weeks into the season, something clicked and he just got mad and just turned into a ball player. And these kids nowadays, like I said, they're soft.
Yeah.
Sheltered.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and then there's a lot of the ones that aren't involved with the kids at all, and they learn everything on that damn cell phone or computer or
tablet,
a cartoon of some kind, some queer on some a Disney show. It blows.
That's a lot.
When we were kids, there was camping, there was fireworks, there was a starting fire. I mean, chewing tobacco. Smoking cigars. I mean,
BB gun wars,
BB guns, pellet guns, 22s. Nudie magazines.
Kids just don't have it now.
They don't.
We got too much technology, and a lot of parents, will just, hey, here you go.
Right.
Take your phone. Good.
I spoke about this on my podcast with John, and that was this latest Toy Story.
Yeah.
I think it came out a little too late, but it never, ceases to amaze me that they strategically, place storylines like that out there. But about the digital world and how kids they don't play with toys anymore.
Yeah,
that was interesting. I tell you, I walked away from that going, you know what, that's needed to come out for 5 or 6 years now at least.
Yeah,
and just things have changed.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, my son, he has a mowing business in Lapel.
Yeah,
and he's tried a couple times. I'm like, hey, why don't you see if so and so wants to help you, and you guys split the profits or whatever. He's like, oh, they don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like the kids, they don't want to work for anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I will say that he's got one of them electric bikes or whatever. He saved up enough money, bought it, and now there's probably like, I mean, I'm sure you've seen them. There's like 10 of them, 10 or 15 of them, and they don't now, but during the summer they'd meet at Phillips at 8 p.m. and they'd go on a ride for however long they're allowed to be out.
Yeah,
that's like the closest thing to like what we did as kids. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like running the streets. And,
Oh yeah.
they're not
Trampolines and
doing
stuff. You don't
anything
even
bad,
see,
you
you
know
don't
what I
see
mean?
that anymore.
No,
We had
no.
wrestling.
Yeah.
We had wrestling league, ultimate trampoline
yeah.
wrestling. Man,
Yeah.
just there again.
Yeah.
You're right, man. Tree houses.
Yeah.
Man, I go back and think. We spent a lot of time outside. From the minute the final bell rang at school to.
Yeah.
Wow.
The street lights came on sometimes afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Play
Man.
like town-wide flashlight tag and
Yeah.
like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Man, it's a different time. But
It is. But man, I'm glad you stopped in tonight, and we were able to kind of talk about what's been going on. And we haven't went anywhere. We're just kind of right now just getting everything organized. We still got work to do here with this
come
table.
along.
We'll get that all wrapped up. More decor. We'll
More
get
posters.
some more posters and what have you. But more guests. Again, feel free if you have anyone you're interested in bringing on. Feel free to just put it in the chat when they're thinking and what works. And then if I've got somebody lined up, do the same thing. But again, we're going to let some of our new guests and old guests as well get caught up on the content that we have, because some of those episodes went over 2 hours and some of them were an hour and a half. And so they're good episodes. And if you guys are listening to this and you want to be on the show and you've got a great story to tell, or you want to, just like this evening, sit down and just BS like Kyle and I have, and feel free, call our hotline, text our hotline. You can email us at goodsoabpodcast, one word, at gmail.com. You can call our hotline 317-674-3216, and it is open for voicemails, texting. Feel free. Leave us a message on your story and a little bit about yourself. We try to meet Thursday nights, 6:30, and tape an episode on Thursdays and release it either Thursday night or Friday morning. So feel free to use that hotline. You can email us as well. You can find us on Facebook. I know Kyle and Keith are admins on there, so we kind of see what's going on there, and you can message us on there as well. But Facebook is open all the time.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to really we're setting ourselves up for a strong 2027 since we're already past the halfway mark in July.
Winter before we know it.
It is, and that's really when we'll start humping per se, or hopping the list up. Like I said, I had over 60 some people that had committed to wanting to be on the show. The problem we run into is when we have to get them ahead of time for the Thursday night or whatever works for them. And
It's
then
a busy time of year.
Yeah, it is, and especially right now with my side business and having to do some things with
School's
that.
starting back up, and
Exactly,
everything slows down when the winter.
Yeah,
gets
fall
here,
and
so,
winter will be able a little more flexible and able to bring people in whenever works best for them. Right now, Thursday nights seem to with everyone's schedule work the best, but we'll accommodate you guys. Again, feel free to call us on the hotline. And we have a piece of technology that we're adding this fall that will allow us to take phone calls live, and it'll be just like you're sitting here with us on one of these microphones. That piece of technology, I do need to order it. It goes directly into our soundboard, and any of us here can answer. We'll have a button where we can answer it, and you can be on the show live, and we'll take live phone calls. That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the guests that we're going to get, we're going to have veterans. We're going to have people that work in heavy industrial, like IMI drivers, one of them, and doctors, lawyers, people in the industry that I'm in with fixing cars, mechanics, engineers. One gentleman I'm going to try to get on here, believe it or not, the dream team of the Chicago Bears. One of the starting defensive ends was Dave Duerson.
Oh, yeah.
I got to knowing his brother, Mike. Mike joins our study group that we have on Tuesday nights at Bob Evans. Mike is a very interesting man, engineer, very smart, sharp gentleman. But his brother was one of the first professional sports players to have his brain donated to science to study CTE. Mike Duerson is his name.
Okay.
His brother experienced a lot of things over his fame and being part of that Chicago Bears team. And then outside of that, and I'll let him tell the story when we have him on, his brother owed the mob some major amounts of money. It gets into some reasoning behind him, not just with the CTE, but reasons for him ending his life. And I want to find out from Mike. You know, Mike's a Christian man, very knowledgeable in the Bible, but very smart, and was an engineer. He actually created the shock absorber that went in the Abrams A1 tank in between the motor and the transmission.
Okay.
He's solely responsible for the creation of that particular part. In First Desert Storm, that Abrams tank was breaking down a lot, and they had a hard time figuring out why. Well, they had him invent and create and patent and all of that shock absorber in between the two that allowed for the flexibility and the compatibility between the Caterpillar motor and the GE transmission. I want to let him tell that story. We'll have him on. We'll talk about what Dave's brain being donated to science to not only study CTE, but what it allowed them to do as a family and impact the world. And I don't want to say too much because I want him to tell, but they've been able to provide a lot for people with brain injuries in the game of football and other sports. But I want to have Mike on. I'll talk to him in the weeks to come. See him on Tuesday nights, and I'll talk to him. And one of the gentlemen that played college basketball with him, Big Wayne, you'll recognize his voice in our show opening, ladies and gentlemen. That's Wayne. Wayne will be joining us at some point to talk about his days in college basketball. He went pretty far. Big guy. In 1977, he was one of the taller men, just like when we seen Shaquille O'Neal and Rick Smits. Those guys were, wow, those are. Wayne was that guy in college basketball back in the 70s. So anyways, folks, stick with us. Come back and see our content. We have other content, car content, barbecue content, business content on my other page, Howlers. You can find Howlers on YouTube as well. That's at Howler Squad, one word, HOWLER SQUAD. And then you can find us at Good SOAB Podcast, one word, on YouTube, Spotify, and Rumble, and also on Facebook.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, great.
This just popped in my head.
Yeah.
When we were talking about what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Fauci stuff?
I have. This is a great one to close out the episode on.
Oh my gosh.
Number one, there's a lot that we're only going to know about 1% of what really happened during the COVID years. And COVID years doesn't mean 2020. This started well before that, 2017.
Yeah.
I think there's been a lot of famous people put to shame, put to death, put to rest via Guantanamo Bay, Tierra del Fuego, and the White House lawn. But I don't know that we'll ever get knowledge of that. But the one thing that draws me to Dr. Fauci is number one, the pardon. How do you get pardoned for a crime that's never been committed? So, first and foremost, I think about that, and I think about AutoPen, and how can that pardon even stand if Joe Biden wasn't even real, or the one that signed those pardons, which opens up a Pandora's box of other things. Donald Trump's no dummy. He is a 5D chess champion, has more championships than Robert Fisher. I don't think he's ever out front. I don't know that we ever see the real Donald Trump. I think he's got, just like all these other people, I think they have, and I say that because he keeps repeating himself, and he just did it the other night about central casting. We're going to have the head of the CIA with us. He's with central casting. If we were going to make a movie, I wouldn't pick anyone better than that. Central casting keeps coming up, and once people does the dig on central casting, you realize how do earlobes on Joe Biden go from detached to attached.
Right.
There's just so much going on there. But yes, the Anthony Fauci. The only thing I can say about what's getting ready to happen with him, and it already kind of started happening, is the Q post. If you ever followed a QAnon post back in 2017, they said there'll be a day where these people, and speaking of people, like Anthony Fauci, will not be able to walk down the street. And what they mean by that is, the power has been placed back with the individuals or the United States of America, and not the corporation. So I think people start taking things within their own power and shaming Dr. Fauci or making it to where it's...
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a huge slap in the American people's
It really
face.
is.
You know what I mean? Like, to him... Basically, he's the one that created this whole storyline. Basically, social distancing. You got to wear masks. You got to get this vaccine. All this stuff.
Yeah.
And then now, well, what? It wasn't even a thing. It didn't even exist. It obviously existed, but not to the extent that they were blowing it up to be.
Yeah.
And man, and then for you to be the head guy. And then you plead the fifth on everything, like 111 times. That's crazy.
And our audience can do this too. If you want to learn about the real Anthony Fauci, first you can read the book, The Real Anthony Fauci, written by Robert Kennedy Jr., who stated nothing but facts. If so, he wouldn't be allowed to be doing what he's doing. He'd have been sued from here to kingdom come. But everything he stated was a fact, and it was backed up. If you want to learn about who Anthony Fauci is, you got to go back to the late 80s and early 90s and learn about a drug that he killed millions and millions of people with called AZT. AZT was a drug that Anthony Fauci pushed to treat AIDS and HIV, and it killed millions and millions. Nobody even batted an eye then. Sure. It didn't bat an eye in 2017 when he started this garbage, and it was all white hats, dark hats, light versus dark, whatever you want to call it, battle of the major powers. But I don't think we've heard the last of what's going to happen with him.
No, I don't think so.
Just like they're going to fire the old Epstein stuff that tended to just disappear.
Yep.
It'll come back, but
I feel like has been happening a lot lately. Like something big comes up, you know what I mean, and we're talking about it for a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden it just disappears.
Don't look here, look there.
Right?
That's, in my opinion, we're watching a giant movie. I think what's already been done's been done.
Right.
And the only way that, or the only reason they haven't made that visible on every streaming device that there is to keep order and keep, because if they came across and started playing military tribunals where Hillary Clinton and all these people, all the clones of these people or doubles of these people that were put out by hanging, you'd have so much unrest. You thought the screaming liberal in California was bad when Hillary lost the election in 2016 was bad. Boy, it would just so and they know this. The people that are in charge of all of this, they know all of this. So,
did you see the Pat McAfee show the other day with Aaron Rodgers?
Again, I just seen the clips of Aaron Rodgers.
That's all I saw too.
I'm glad to see Aaron Rodgers. I'm an Aaron Rodgers guy. I don't know how you are with Aaron Rodgers. I was a fan of Aaron Rodgers.
He's a quarterback for my team now, so I gotta like him. You know what I mean?
I liked Aaron Rodgers not only as a quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, but I like what he did during this whole COVID thing with the I'm immunized and just let Tim dig on it and run him through the ringer. He didn't. One thing about him and others like him, it didn't sway his direction.
Right.
He kept going still to this day.
Yeah.
But what I am glad to see is he's making things right with his family.
Yeah.
His parents and his siblings and nieces, nephews, whatever.
Yeah, he I don't know when it was released, but he wrote a book. Well, I don't know if he wrote it, but talking about like all of his dark times and stuff. And I listened to the audio book one day at work, and it's a really good book.
Yeah, I tell you, he went and did ayahuasca and did. Hey, I'm all for it. I think a lot of our veterans will benefit from things like that become available. And I think with time, we've seen Joe Rogan, and they're loosening up the psychedelics and some of the things that they know really can treat these guys. I'm all for it. I don't look at it. I think the real drug dealers are the ones signing scripts, pushing at offices in a white coat. That's real drug dealers to me. And you're starting to find that it's like trickle, drip, and then flood. And then we're about to hit the flood stage where everything's just overwhelming.
Yeah.
But I think he benefited from doing some of those psychedelics and stuff.
I think so too. Yeah, I met this guy one time that was in the military. He was ex-military, and when he got out of the military, he was having a lot of flashbacks, PTSD, stuff like that.
Sure.
And he was coping with it by drinking, drugs, all that stuff. And he somehow, I can't remember how he said he found out about it, but he went and did the ayahuasca treatment for it or whatever. And he said it was the greatest experience he's ever had in his life. He said that he literally came back from that trip or whatever you want to call it, and he took went back to his house, took all of his military gear that he still had from the military, all his awards, ribbons, all that stuff, threw it in a big pile and set it on fire. And I was like, well, why did you do all that? And he was like, that was my way of letting it go.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, sure. I still have memories of stuff that happened when I was in the military and stuff like that. But he's like, to this day, since I did that, I've never touched alcohol. He was like really into Coke and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's like, I haven't picked up Coke, anything like that ever since that experience.
Wow.
Like it really is life changing, and it helped him a lot.
Mike Tyson did that with all of his awards and stuff. I remember he was on 60 Minutes or one of the nighttime shows, and they said, he had just done. Now his version that he went through was DMT through frog secretions. Anyways, where you basically smoke frog venom. I know people are saying, "Oh my God!"
People are going to go out looking for frogs tomorrow.
You're not going to find that type of frog.
Yeah.
But anyways, they asked him, what do you think about all these awards and these belts? He said, garbage, complete garbage. It means nothing to me. I learned how to let that stuff go,
right?
And not live in that time of life. He said, because on the outside you've seen me with the cars, the house, the exotic animals, and everything appeared one way on the outside, but he said on the inside I was completely garbage, and he said this means nothing to me now.
Yeah,
what means the most to him now is family and people, but. I myself, I don't have any experience with psychedelics at all, but I'm very interested in talking to people that have. Maybe they're a 60s hippie, 70s hippie.
Right.
I'm interested in their experience. I want to know more about it. I want to learn about it because I think it's the future of medicine once a big pharmaceutical finally becomes put in their place. I don't know that they're going to be under control by no means, but
Right.
I think there'll be a day where the playing field is a lot more
Right,
even.
Yeah.
We're seeing that with the legalization of cannabis, which has done wonders for states, and the improved taxation of it. With the roads and
Yeah.
buildings and I think it'll be a level playing field eventually, or at least 70-30.
Right.
Whereas it's been 100-0,
Yeah.
up until this point. But
Right.
the Aaron Rodgers statements on Anthony Fauci. Now they said Anthony Fauci's attorneys today responded to that, and it's
sure.
a big WWF,
Yeah.
Vince McMahon pull. No matter what, I got talking to you guys the other day about all this crap with the WNBA going back and forth about men's and women. This isn't rocket science. Men's don't belong in women's
Right,
sports.
yeah.
What? It's retarded to even think that that's even something that should even be debated on. Now, the things you see with the WNBA, and Sophie Cunningham, which I'm glad she spoke out, sticking to her guns, and again, it's all part of the show.
Yeah.
The WNBA is a business, no different than the WWF. They needed viewership. What they do, they went out, they pumped these guys up full of steroids,
Yep.
and they mainstreamed the professional connoisseur microphone talker,
Yep.
feuds, who's a heel, who's a baby face,
Right.
that's what they're doing. The WNBA is like, hey, we now are paying a wage that we weren't paying these women. Now we need to get asses in chairs.
Right,
We need to
right.
sell merchandise.
Yeah.
How else are they going to do that but to talk about,
Yeah.
feuding back and forth on this?
Yeah.
Anyone that wants to think that, this is something that needs to be talked about or debated, doesn't understand sports entertainment, because that's all it is
Yeah.
sports entertainment.
Right. Yeah.
Man,
Yep.
I tell you what, it's good to get back on here
Yes,
tonight.
sir.
First time at the table.
Yeah. Feels
This
good.
table feels really good,
Yeah.
man. It's got room for future laptops where we
Yeah.
can work on a bigger production. Laptops, drinks, whatever.
Yeah.
We may even have some episodes where we're reviewing food and beverage.
Right, yeah.
I think that'd be great. To kind of do that. Have a spread here where we review a promotional whatever burger
Right.
down here at so and so, or a beer that
Yeah.
I'm all in. We don't want Good Son of a Bitch podcast to be a one track,
Right.
one dog and pony show. We want to
We're open
bring
to
you-
everything.
Yeah, we are. Well, we want to bring people stories first and foremost, like
Yeah.
we have been, but we also want to throw in some content like tonight, and
Yeah.
like I said, I would love to get a spread of food out here on this table and sit down, eat it. Sample it, talk about it, whatever case
Yeah.
may be. Maybe get a couple of Pax Vernum brews and see what we think about them. For me, on a beer, there's not anything that I'm a connoisseur or know the ins and outs about it. None of that.
Yeah, I'm not a professional by any means.
I do enjoy those food and beverage and channels, where there are some, real professionals.
Right.
They talk about the front note.
Yeah,
I'm not that guy.
That's not me. I'm going to tell you, it tastes good.
Right,
or,
right.
"Nah, you should probably not drink this."
Right, sure. I noticed they're coming out with pops, some wild pop. I don't mind sampling that and talking about some of these Mountain Dews that I don't know.
Yeah, the dirty sodas and all that stuff. Yeah.
I've never tried them.
No.
But hey, it'd be fun,
Yeah.
enjoyable. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. but good son of a bitch. Been good thus far. It's growing organically. Of course, just like I've shared this. The average podcast to become something great takes 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
We ain't even got a full year
Right,
in yet.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we're just getting started.
Yeah.
This was a big part of the deal
Yeah.
here, was getting a permanent, comfortable place. It's
Right,
really
yeah.
comfortable in this room, man.
With the
It
new
really is.
table in here, it's nice.
It is,
Yeah.
and it allows us for 6 people at one time.
Yep.
If we really wanted to get this thing going, we could go 2 more here,
Right.
And we've got the capacity to
Get a
between
couple-
the computer and the
Couple
soundboard.
comfy chairs in here, we'll be good to
Yeah,
go.
and we'll close out this way. And if you see any computer chairs, feel
Yeah.
free to pick them up.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us please
I'll
let us
come
know.
get 'em.
We'll come and get them. We've
Yeah.
got the ability to do that. And man, it's good seeing you again.
You too, buddy.
It's been 3-4 weeks, but
Yeah.
here we are.
Back after it.
This is Thursday night, and so folks, Friday evening, or maybe even Friday by noon, this content will be out. I won't have the time tonight to edit it all and get it all put out there, but come tomorrow, we'll be back.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, we're back,
Yeah.
and it's going to be
Got
fun.
the camera set, got the table.
That was a
got
big
everything
part of
set
it.
up.
Having them placed in
Yeah,
permanent,
not
we're
right in your face, yeah.
Not only that, and if you bump them,
Yeah.
we're set.
That's huge. Yeah.
We're set.
Yeah.
All right.
I think so.
Good deal, man. Well, have a good evening, and we'll see you again next week. And let's plan on next week. Let's do a show, a food and drink review of some kind.
Okay.
Throughout this week, let's talk about
Think
it.
about it. Yeah.
And see who's got what,
Sure.
something new and limited time, whatever case may be.
Yeah.
And even if I've got to buy it and bring it, we've got a grill here that we can
Okay,
grill
yeah.
out on, whatever. But yeah, let's do that next week for
All right.
for the fans. And then in the meantime, be talking to anyone you may know that you want to bring on. And
Sure.
I'll talk to Mike Tuesday night and see when he's available to
Okay.
to come on, and we'll get him on. And
Sounds good.
like I said, Chad and man, so many. Tim, I've got so many that are in my mind that I'm going to have on. But good deal,
All right, buddy.
awesome, man. See you next week.